Hello student. Today's topic is TCP/IP. TCP/IP means Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. TCP/IP is a suite, nothing but a number of things are connected in series, and this is the standard first of all developed by Department of Defense in 1960 and based on the standard protocol. The layers TCP/IP layers are application layer, transport layer, internet layer, and network layer. These are the four layers used in TCP/IP. Then we know that in OSI reference model there are 7 layers. In that, first one is the physical, second is data link layer, third is network layer, fourth one is the transport layer, fifth one is a session, sixth session layer, sixth one presentation layer, and seventh is application layer. Whereas TCP/IP model consists of application layer, transport layer, internet layer, and network access layer. Means here the first lower first and second layer, that is physical and data link layer. This layer is converted in TCP/IP is network access layer. Here in the OSI reference model, there is a network layer. Here is the internet layer. Means whatever the work done by the network layer, same work will done by internet layer. Then in this one transport layer, there is also a transport layer. But in the OSI reference model, there are the session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. Whereas in the TCP/IP model, all three are comes together, forms only one layer, that is the application layer. This is the difference between the OSI reference model and the TCP/IP reference model. This four layer having different protocols, and different protocols do the different work. So one by one we will see the protocols used in the different layer. So in this one, first is a application layer, which is consist of session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. And this is consist of SMTP, FTP, telnet, DNS, SMTP, FTP. All these are all the protocols are used in the application layer. Whereas in transport layer, there are TCP and UDP protocols. In network layer, there are ICMP, IGMP, IP, ARP, RARP. These are the protocols. And for data link layer and the physical layer, a token ring, X25, this protocol are used. Then TCP/IP model, topper layer is a application layer. This layer is allow the human interaction. The application layer is present at the top of the TCP/IP model. It is a layer through which user interact. It provides services to the user. Whenever we want to access the internet, at that time whenever we use to search anything, we use a www or https. So to search anything, we have to write something there, and this is called as HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol. So this is the well-known protocol used for the application layer. It has two versions, HTTP 1.0, HTTP 1.1, and the port number for the HTTP version is port number 80. Then telnet. Telnet stand for telecommunication network. It allows the telnet client to access the resources of the telnet server. Telnet commands is a command that use the telnet protocol to communicate with the remote service or the system. Port number for the telnet is 23. See here, this can be explained with the help of this diagram. Suppose this is our PC having 192.168.9.2 IP address, and it is connected to one of the router. Suppose it is present in Aurangabad. So router has its own address 92.168.9.1. This address, so our PC is connected to the router, this router, and if you want to access a router which is present in Pune and which has the IP address is 192.168.10.2. So by using the telnet protocol, our PC can access the router information from that protocol, from that server. Sorry, FTP. FTP stand for File Transfer Protocol. File Transfer Protocol. FTP is standard internet protocol provided by TCP/IP used for transmitting the file from one host to another host. It is used to downloading the file to computer from other server. Means FTP is mostly used for downloading the files or for transferring the file from one place to another place. Means FTP is related to the file. It may be a downloading or transferring from one place to another place. Then not only transfer its simple work, but but two system may have the different file convention. Then also FTP translate with the different system. Then FTP are of two types, that is control connection and data connection. Control connection used for the sending the control information between the two hosts. Control information between the two hosts, and data connection is used for sending the files. And the port number for control connection is 21 and the data connection is 2020. Then advantages of FTP protocol is speed is high, then efficient, it is more efficient, means it has more security. It can use a username and the password, so that it provide the security. Back and forth movement, which is allowed the transfer of file back and forth. Suppose if you are manager of the company, and if you want to send some information to all of the employees, and they all are sending information back to your same server, that is nothing but the back and fourth movement. As there are some advantages, there are some disadvantages also. As transmission, it FTP transmission should be encrypted. If a FTP file is to be encrypted, then FTP is provide provide FTP provider are not equal for all of the service provider. FTP allows to allow only 2 GB of data. Then password containing one of the files, so that it can be hacked by the hacker, and it is not compatible with every system. These are the disadvantages of the FTP. Then TFTP, Traveler File Transfer Protocol. This is the advanced version of the FTP, and it uses the UDP for the data transfer. It is faster. Then SMTP stand for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Means whenever we are using internet for transferring a mail, at that time SMTP protocol is used. So first of all, our our system will be connected to the SMTP server through, and then it is connected to the internet, and again it is connected to the SMTP server of second user, and finally our email will be transferred to the different user. Then SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. This protocol is used for the management. Uh, in that, suppose in the LAN, number of LAN number of devices are connected to each other. So there is a one server. It is monitoring the functioning of all of the devices. If there is any problems, it can be informed to us. That is why it is used for the management purpose. Then DNS, domain name server. Domain resolves or the qualifies qualif- qualified domain name with the IP address. DNS allow you to use a domain name to specific IP address, and it maintain the database of the IP address and the host. That is, for example, for the telephone numbers, is used for calling purposes. Name are not to be used, but for our convenience we remember the name. And for the telephone system, name is not important, it is used for the number. Same is there whenever we want to access something from the internet or other server, something want to fetch. So at that time, what we have to use our internet service. Then first of all, first of all, our information is goes to the internet service provider, that is ISP, and it will be given to the domain name server. It is given to the domain name server. So domain name server will convert our information into the IP address, mapping our information into the IP address. An equivalent IP address is given to the internet service provider, and this IP address will transfer onto the internet, and then it is reaches to the respective IP address, and we are fetching the information from the internet through the internet towards the internet service provider. Then again this information is given to the domain name server. Domain name server will convert it into the user known language and given and display on our computer. This is the domain name server. Then next one is HDH, DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Dynamically, it is used for assigning the IP address to the host. See, if there are a number of PCs, and suppose if you want to assign the IP address for each and every system, so if you are using them manually to send the IP addresses, then there may be a problems, or it is a very hard process to give each and every PCs for IP addresses. A lengthy process we have to follow. But if you use a domain name server, then automatically we are making first of all connection for all the devices. Then DHCP server will automatically assign the IP addresses to each and every devices connected within this. That is why the DHCP is mostly used. Okay, I hope you understood this thing. Thank you.